Good morning. All right. Today I'll be talking about your ego could cost you. Okay. Your ego could cost you. I am still in Kings. I'm in Second Kings. I know I keep going back and forth between First and Second Kings. Um, but these stories are very interesting and very relatable. That's why I keep going back to them because, yeah, get my coffee. My hair trying to go in my coffee. All right, so your ego could cost you. I'm going to be reading out of Second Kings, um, chapter 5, verse 1. I'm gonna skip around a little bit because it's a little bit long. Well, it's 19 verses. But we'll see. Okay, your ego could cost you, okay? So in Second Kings, there is who is messaging me? Every morning my sister texts me talking about, "Are you live?" Because she's using this as her own personal Bible study as well. So, amen. Whoever wants to join me in this morning Bible study live, you're welcome to. Um, like I said, I'm not a Bible expert or anything, but I love reading the Bible. And it's weird because I didn't like to before, but now it's so interesting to me, and because my desire is to be close to God, so I'm very intentional about reading my Bible because this is how we grow and learn. This is how we get to understand who God is. The way I see it is I see the Bible as God speaking to me, and me praying to him is me, that's how I communicate to him. So there are other ways, of course, but um the Bible is just me allowing him to give me instruction for the day, allowing him to pour into me. That's one way. All right, so I'm going to be reading out of we're already 3 minutes in. Okay. I'm going to be reading out of 2 Kings chapter 5. And this is a story about Naaman's leprosy healed. Okay. But um, so that's why I started off saying your ego could cost you. So let's read. I might not read the whole thing, but let's get started. Now, Naaman, commander of the army of the king of Syria, uh, or Syria, was a great and honorable man in the eyes of his master, because by him the Lord had given victory to Syria. He has he was also a mighty man of valor, but a leper. I like how he is called a mighty man of valor, identity. But he was also a leper. And the Syrians, and the Syrians had gone out on raids and had brought back captive a young girl from the land of Israel. She waited on Naaman's wife. Then she said to her mistress, "If only my master were with the prophet who is in Samaria, for he would heal him of his leprosy." Now, this is someone who is captive. And in her captivity, she still offered advice. She still tried to help. She still who does that? Usually, when you held captive, you want you want the worst for your capture, right? Or is it not capture, captivator, or the person who holding you captive, right? You don't want good for them. You don't want them, they holding you captive. So why am I over here trying to help you out when you ain't doing nothing for me? But that was not her heart. She was like, she told the lady, like, she said, if only my master were with the prophet who is in Samaria, for he would heal him of leprosy. And Naaman went in and told his master, saying, thus and thus said the girl. Oh, I'm reading in New King James Version. Thus and thus said the girl who is from the land of Israel. Then the king of Syria said, go now, and I will send a letter to the king of Israel. So he departed and took with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and 10 changes 10 changes of clothing. Then he brought the letter to the king of Israel, which said, now be advised when this letter comes to you that I have sent Naaman, my servant, to you, that you may heal him of his leprosy. Now, another thing, not only that the girl who was held captive gave advice and said who could heal you and help you, Naaman also listened. Now, for me, if I were Naaman, if I had somebody that I was holding captive, and now you're telling me, hey, so and so could help you, I would think it's a trap. Yeah, I got trust issues. I would think it's a trap. I wouldn't think that, oh, let me listen to this girl. I'm thinking, nah, she trying to set me up. She trying to, I wouldn't, I don't think I would have gone for it right away. But Naaman said, let me check it out, right? Okay. So his master, whomever, the king sent a letter for him, sent the letter for him ahead of him. And so starting in verse 7, and it says, and it happened when the king of Israel read the letter that he tore his clothes and said, am I God to kill and make alive, that this man sends a man to me to heal him of his leprosy? Therefore, please consider and see how he seeks a quarrel with me. So it was when Elijah, the man of God, heard that the king of Israel had torn his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, why have you torn your clothes? Please let him come to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. Now, the king, I felt like the king was being dramatic. That's just me. I felt like the king was being dramatic. Okay, so they sent you a letter, even if you didn't know whether the letter was for you or not. You know you got a prophet in your town. Come on now. If you can't do the work, get somebody else who can do it. But anyway, let's continue in verse 9. Okay, then Naaman went with his horses and chariots, and he stood at the door of Elijah's house. And Elijah sent a messenger to him, saying, Go and wash in the Jordan. Go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and your flesh shall be restored to you, and you shall be clean. See, simple instructions. Go wash in the Jordan of river, your flesh will be restored. You shall be good. You'll be clean. But Naaman became furious and he went away and said, indeed, I said to myself, he will surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God and wave his hand over the place and heal the leprosy. Are you not the Abana in the far part, the rivers of Damascus, better than Oh, are not the Abna and the far part and the rivers of Damascus better than all the waters of Israel? Child, he is saying that you sending me to the Jordan River, the river in Damascus and far part and Abna. Those waters better. Why are you sending me to Jordan? He thought he would. He thought, you don't know who I am. You ain't got a better way of doing this. Why you ain't come outside and greet me? Do you not know who I am? This is funny to me, but this is so relatable to how we can be when we think the option or when we think what we ask for or how something is supposed to be done is supposed to be done in a specific way. We think because of who we think we are that we should get special treatment, special privileges. Let me keep reading. Could I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in rage. Yeah, he was not just upset, he was furious. And his servants came near and spoke to him and said, my father, if the prophet had told you to do something great, would you not have done it? How much more then when he says to you, wash and be clean? So he went down and dipped 7 times in the Jordan, according to the saying of the man of God, and his flesh was restored, like the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. And he returned to the man of God, and he and all his aides, and came and stood before him and said, indeed, now I know that there is a God, that there is no God in all the earth except in Israel. Now, therefore, please take a gift for your servant. But it goes on saying, Elisha said, no, I don't need anything. Elijah's point was made that there is a God. Um, and he wanted him to know that there's a God. But Naaman almost missed his blessing. He almost missed his healing. He almost missed his restoration because of his pride, his ego. He felt like I'm a commander in the army. I am a leader. I am this. I am that. It's me. How dare you tell me go wash in the water of Jordan, in the river of Jordan, when there are better waters out there, right? That's so true. Yes, that is. There's better waters out there. He just thought, this man don't know who he's talking to. Do you not know who I am? That's how he was thinking, you know? But how many times have we considered ourselves more than that we will risk missing our blessings, right? It's very interesting to me that um, his ego got in the way, but how badly do you want to be healed? His servants, the people, his aides, the people beneath him, had to help him to think and make sense of it. Sometimes our position can even cloud our judgment, or can cloud our reasoning because we think we're more than what we are. We cannot afford to let positioning to get in the way of our blessings, to get in the way of our restoration. We have to be humble enough that if God says, hey, I need you to do this, that you're going to do it. And that you're going to trust that God has your best interest in mind. The goal is to be clean. The goal is to be healed. The goal is to I don't know, that would be my goal. I wanna be clean. If somebody told me I got cancer and I need to go do X, Y, and Z, baby, as long it's not going against what God says, I'm gonna go do X, Y, and Z. So, think about in your own life, what are you missing out because of ego? What are you not, what are you not allowing yourself to experience because of ego? Someone in the comments said, sometimes pride is the very thing keeping us stuck in the same place. Absolutely. Absolutely. Pride, this is why it says pride comes before the fall. This is why God, in the Bible, it says God despise pride. It talks a lot about pride in the Bible. Pride is discussed a lot of because of how dangerous it can be. And it's because we think we're so much more. We nothing but dust. We're nothing but dust, but we let position, we let certain things make us think of ourselves more highly than we ought to. But we can not allow positioning and ego to be our downfall, to keep us from the healing. You have to be willing to receive help from unexpected places, from unexpected people, because sometimes this is why I said it's relatable, because sometimes you be looking at some folks, whether it's coaching, mentorship, or whatever. I'd be looking like, Can this person help me? Did this person and this person don't look like they can help me?" When it comes to certain spaces, we want people who look a certain way, dress a certain way, drive a certain car, do certain things to be able to help us. Or we think that's where we're going to get the most help and support because of how this person look, do whatever they do. Like, help can come from anybody. You see that his second help came from his aide, someone who's beneath him. Came from his aide that was helping him to reason, helping him to think like, dude, you want to be clean or not? You know, the first person who pointed Naaman towards him, one, for his healing, is an unnamed servant girl who was captured. Someone he could easily have dismissed because of her position, but he was quick to listen to her because initially he wanted to be clean. So when she mentioned, "Oh, somebody can heal you," he didn't even think, "Oh, this could be a trap." He didn't even think less than of this girl because he just thought, "Okay." Unless I don't I don't recall how, let me see. I want to see how he did the girl speak to him. I know the girl was talking to the wife directly. Maybe the girl spoke to the wife and the wife talked to him. It doesn't really say, but the lesson is sometimes God sends the answer through someone we don't expect. Pride can make us overlook people because they don't have the title, the status, the experience, or platform we think they should have. So because we think that way, pride, our ego takes over and we can miss, what God is trying to do for us. If you really want what God has for you, you can't be too important to listen. You hear that? If you really want God to work, if you really want God to move for you, you cannot be so important that you feel like you can't listen and you can't obey and you can't follow instructions because of your position, because of your status, because you think you're so important. We got to be humble enough to um, be willing to listen to God, be willing to do some things that just don't feel like that's what we want to do, that don't feel clean enough, that don't feel, because to him, the Jordan wasn't clean enough. There were cleaner waters, right? Um, and the other thing I want you to take away is that don't let your expectations make you reject God instructions. Okay. When it comes to your expectations, listen, the Bible has to trump your expectations. The Bible has to supersede that because that is what's more important. And lastly, your breakthrough may require you to humble yourself. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord. Your breakthrough might require you to be humble. So you decide how you want to proceed. So I just want to encourage you that it might not look the way you want it to be. It might not happen the way you want it to happen, but know that God' ultimate goal is to heal you, is to restore you, is to help you, and you have to trust that no matter how it looks, right? And the instruction was he told him to dip himself 7 times. 7 is a symbol of completion, perfection, God's finished work. With leprosy, you have to cover up. People don't want to touch you. People don't want to be near you. And so much more, right? He almost missed his blessing, almost missed his healing because of ego. And the instruction was simple: go wash in the river, in the Jordan 7 times for completion, for healing. So do not let your ego get in the way. Um, I know sometimes it can be hard. It might not look like how we want it to look, but do not let your ego stop you from your blessing. Okay. Stop you from your healing. God can send help in any kind of way, through people. God had a horse, a donkey, talk to somebody. It can come any kind of way. So don't avoid it. Don't run from it. Welcome it. Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me this morning on our morning Bible study. See you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all the beautiful things. But definitely subscribe, and you can also connect with me on Instagram. All right. So thank you and have a beautiful, beautiful day. And keep in mind, keep that ego back there, okay? We don't need the ego messing things up for us. All right. Have a great day.